Virtual summits are the most powerful online marketing tool available to grow your list, launch your platform, make more money, and create an impact in the world, even if you're just getting started. If you are ready to take your summit to the next level, then tune into the Virtual Summit Podcast with Dr. Mark T. Wade.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark T. Wade, founder of Virtual Summit Software and creator of the One Day Summit Formula. And I'm on a mission to help you, the summit host, get your summit out to the world in a powerful and impactful way. So let's get started. Did you know there are actually 4 different roles to choose from when hosting a summit? Many summit hosts make the mistake of not getting clear on these roles before starting their summit. I'm going to help you get crystal clear on that on today's episode. Hi there, I'm Dr. Mark T. Wade, founder of Virtual Summit Software, your host here on the Virtual Summit Podcast, and I am super excited for today's episode. I think this is going to be something really important for most summit hosts to get clear on before they start their summit. Now, don't forget to check out the show notes over at podcast.virtualsummits.com/099. This is episode 99. Head over to the resources area over at virtualsummits.com. We've got all kinds of amazing things like access to our summit scripts. You can get access to our Interview Like a Pro program, as well as come join us at Summit Fest Live in New Orleans, live conference for summit hosts. So this year on the podcast, we've dug deep into a lot of aspects of virtual summits. We've been peeking into some of the dark places, and we've dusted off some of the cobwebs of some overlooked areas. Now, we still have a lot of aspects of virtual summits that we can and will be diving into. Now, one aspect that I want to discuss today is pretty important when it comes to hosting your own virtual summit. It doesn't matter if it's a multi-day, one-day live streaming, or a summit series. That has to do with what role do you play as the summit host. Now, I noticed this year as we see more summits starting to take off in a variety of niches, that most summit hosts are just kind of winging it. But it's not really their fault. No one has clarified the roles before. We're seeing summits get much better in the area of interviews thanks to our Interview Like a Pro training, which you can get in the resource area over at virtualsummits.com. We've even seen them start to get more entertaining thanks to the new summit story concept that many summit hosts are embracing. And you can learn more about that in episode 57 here on this podcast. I did a whole episode on how to create a binge-worthy summit. Well, I want to keep going deeper into that area today, and I want to talk about the roles you should play as a summit host. So I'm going to talk about 4 specific roles, and then we'll dive deep into each of them to let you know how you can adopt any of them into your next virtual summit. Sound good? Okay, cool. Let's rock and roll. So these 4 roles are the researcher, the reporter, the facilitator, and the teacher. Now, you usually aren't going to play each of those roles on one single summit. You would choose one of them and embrace that role throughout the whole summit. Now, this is going to pertain a lot to the summit story concept on how you can create a summit story arc, and even more specifically with how you craft your summit interviews. We've already talked about how important having an impactful and professional interview is, but we also need to talk about staying consistent in a particular role. You want to decide on that role based on how you are approaching your summit. Are you going to learn something? Are you improving your knowledge on that topic that you think is important? Are you taking on a topic that you're an expert in but want to include other experts on that same topic? Or maybe you already have a tribe and you know they should have more information on a specific topic, one that you don't want to necessarily be known for, but you know it's important. Or maybe you want to assume the expert role and be seen as that one authority on this topic to anyone who participates. Regardless of which role you do assume, you will always come at it from what best suits your audience. You will always be thinking of it from their perspective. Now, when you do this, it allows you to create an easy to follow narrative and consistent flow that increases the success of your summit. Okay. So it also allows you to get super clear on that very specific outcome and a very clear why to your summit. So let's dive into each role specifically and let's start off with the researcher role. So in this role, you're thinking of your summit as an investigation, almost like doing a research or a case study on yourself to get answers to a topic you're searching for. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to build a 7-figure business. You haven't done this yet, so you're obviously not the expert in it, but it's something you want to do. We've done the unthinkable. We've convinced 35 of the most successful summit hosts, coaches, and consultants to give you their prized possession, their summit email copy. Get more information at summitscripts.com. Now, this story is going to be about you. However, you know that it would be valuable and wanted by others in similar situations. You also know that it would be difficult to get a bunch of experts to coach you on this for free, right? So what's the solution? Well, we host a summit. Bring on experts to give you this information. This can be done in a variety of ways. You could simply have them teach on this topic, or you could even have them be a series of coaching sessions geared towards you. You become the guinea pig and you let them work on you. In this process, they highlight their expertise, you gain knowledge and clarity, but you are also able to let your audience essentially sit on your shoulder and watch this happen, which is going to give them insights and wisdom into your situation as well. Now, think of it like performing an experiment, then sharing the findings and outcomes of that experiment while it's happening. Now, when setting up the summit, for this, you'll want to look at a different areas you believe you need to improve on. Then find the appropriate expert or speaker to teach you or mentor you on this topic. Gain the information, implement some of the strategies, and show the transformations. It's even more powerful if you can actually show a change in your situation throughout the summit based on the information learned. Like, get a strategy, then go implement it or try it out, and then talk about what it was like, what worked, what was the outcomes that happened. A perfect example of this would be my partner, Dr. Krista Burns, over at the American Posture Institute. She wanted to improve her skill set in pediatric health arena. So she brought on 25 of the world's leading pediatric clinicians in her industry. She interviewed them on the areas that she wanted to improve or become knowledgeable in. And by the end, she had all of that wisdom and insight. It's like getting 10 years of experience or paying tens of thousands of dollars in coaching or mentor, except it's free. And it happens in a matter of months. Then you can take that information and teach it back to your audience that you have just created through that summit. It's truly a genius way to increase your knowledge quickly to expert level while building the audience that will essentially become your tribe and customers. Think of it as going on a journey to discover something of extreme value. This is one of the only roles where you're actually thinking about most of it from your perspective, what you need to learn and where you need to get to and what you need to be. Another example of this would be, for example, Shanda Sumter. Years ago, she was wanting to find a relationship and get married, but was having difficulties finding the right kind of guys that could support a successful and independent woman like she is. So she did a relationship summit. She called it something like Finding True Love for Successful Women. She got the world's top dating and relationship coaches to come on and actually coach her and give her real-time advice and guidance. And it allowed her to make changes and focus on things that eventually led to her finding true love and getting married. Of course, there are thousands of other women that needed this information too. So the summit was great for them as well. But she took the role of the researcher. She did an experiment on herself, and she got tens of thousands of dollars in coaching and advice for free. Now, let's move on to the reporter role, okay? So this is by far the most common role that's done on a summit. And most summit hosts don't even know they're playing the reporter. It's just the easiest one to do. In this role, there's a topic or a problem that you know the answer to and are the expert in. And that is what the summit is going to be about. Now, despite knowing the answer, you realize there are a lot of other similar or even opposing viewpoints on that same topic. There are other experts that have information that can assist on this topic, and even some other tangential insights that could be a benefit to this topic. The primary reason for this summit is to build an audience. You have the answers, but you need the audience. So you bring on other experts with audiences that would also benefit from your knowledge. Additionally, you bring on these other experts in industries or niches that can benefit from this topic that you may not want to be the expert in, for example. You're essentially collecting information around a topic and you're reporting it back to your audience. You aren't there to necessarily to be taught or learn, although that benefit always happens as well. You're primarily there to bring together insights and information for an audience and report those insights back to them. which further positions yourself as the expert. An example of this could be my List Builder Accelerator, which was a one-day summit where I interviewed 10 experts who talked about list building strategies. Obviously, I have knowledge and expertise on building lists through summits, but I wanted to bring together other various insights on how to build a list in different ways. And together we generated an engaged audience that wanted to learn how to build a list. Many of them after that looked at me as the authority, wanted to go further with me in my one-day summit formula training program.
Be sure to check out the speaker management tool inside your virtual summit software, which lets you quickly and easily recruit and manage your speakers on your virtual summit, literally eliminating hundreds of hours of work. Get more information at virtualsummits.com.
Now, in this role, the audience is the hero, and it's all about what they need and will benefit from. It is your role as the reporter to pull that information out. Think of it like being an investigative journalist to get those insights and strategies for your viewers or your audience. At what level is your audience at? What specifically do they need from this speaker you're interviewing? It's your job to keep the interview on the right track and get the information that your audience needs most. Another example of this could be our Digital Dementia Summit we hosted, which brought in 26,000 new people into our community. We brought together 50 of the top experts in a variety of industries that all pertained or supported the topic. This allowed us to pull together an incredible amount of valuable information for our audience and then report that information to them in a way that positioned my partner as the leader in that industry. Again, this is the most common role done on virtual summits. It's a great role, but I also think that you can take one of the other roles. If you can take one of the other roles, you can stand out and create something magical on your summit. So let's get into the facilitator role. This is a great one if you already have an audience and you're looking for ways to provide value to them. Obviously, one of the benefits of hosting a summit is creating a large amount of content and valuable information without necessarily having to create it all yourself. In this role, you will take a topic that you know is important for your audience and maybe you are even pretty good at too, but it's not what you want as your UEP or your unique expert position. You don't want to be known as the expert because you have a different expert position. However, you know it's important and you want to bring that information to your audience. For example, maybe you're an expert at branding and maybe you're even pretty good at writing sales copy. But you don't want to be known as the sales copy expert. You're known as the branding expert. However, your audience needs to know how to write sales copy. It's important to their success. So you could facilitate a one-day summit around this topic, bringing together experts in sales copy that would be great for your audience and provide all the benefits of a virtual summit, such as getting exposure, building on to your audience, and creating relationships with the speakers. Now, in this summit, your audience is the hero. Even if everything in this summit is for them, your role as the facilitator, which is similar to the role to the reporter, is to bring together this information or to facilitate it. Your focus is to make sure that all of this information goes through your messaging. So you would be helping our audience, you would be helping your audience see how this fits into the message or strategy that you currently provide. So going back to that same example, you are there making sure they understand how the copywriting strategies will help their brand. Another example is I ran the Expert Speaker Training Workshop. I know that speaking is important, and obviously in summits, there are speakers. So this was relevant for my audience as well. However, my goal was slightly different in the sense that I used this to build an audience that was interested in speaking, which I told through my unique expert position, but I also used it to prime the audience for a launch I was an affiliate for, which was a program about how to get on more speaking stages. So it was the same role and same aspect. I didn't want to be the speaking training expert, but I knew it was important for my audience, and it also allowed me to prime them for an affiliate launch that I took 5th place out of 150 of the world's top online marketers. So you can have a variety of reasons or goals, but it's more important about how are you facilitating the interviews. You want the audience to see the importance and value in the information. You want them to see how this can add to what you're already teaching them. Not that it makes what you're teaching them less important, it just allows them more insights and strategies to aid them. Okay, So the last role is the teacher. Now, this is probably the least used, at least used correctly. Often summit hosts will try to assume this role on one of the other types of summits, which isn't necessarily bad. However, it's best used when you're trying to position yourself as the expert on a specific topic, which is done best if most of the sessions are supporting that you are the expert. I like to use this role more on a one-day summit, although it can be done on a small multi-day summit. Ideally, the way this role works is you pick the topic of your UEP or unique expert position. You're going to do a variety of teaching sessions, almost like a workshop style, where you are given different insights into different areas of your topic.
With the Ever Summit feature inside the Virtual Summit software, you can rerun your summit as if it were live, ongoing forever with one click of a button. This now lets you continue to use your summit forever, bringing in qualified and engaged leads every month into your business. Get more information at virtualsummit.com.
You would then bring on a few other speakers who support you and agree with your expertise. You wouldn't have a lot of additional speakers, and the ones you do have should be supporting the topic you are presenting. Also, it's great to bring on students in this situation to come on and teach. They were taught by you and will also enhance your position as the expert. And an example of this could be, I would run a one-day summit or summit on one-day summits, right? I would teach different aspects such as choosing a theme, creating your summit story, selecting your speakers, performing an impactful interview, and your post-summit profit strategy, okay? I could then bring on a few of my friends that could teach how to create a summit offer or how to manage your affiliates or how to market your summit. Then I'd bring on a few students who have been through my one-day summit formula training program and have them talk about their experience and insights and successes. That would be a teacher role on a summit. Another example is Renette Upson-Bush, who ran a summit called Get Your Ish Together. She's a woman empowerment coach, and she ran a one-day summit where she taught several sessions, and she brought on 8 of her coaching clients to teach specific strategies. It is valuable information to your audience, gives them strategies and insights that they need to know while continuing to position you as the expert or the leader on that topic. Now, in this type of summit, the audience is the hero, and it's all about what they need to be successful. Your role is to teach or guide them with this specific topic to get that information. We've even done this, as solo summits where my partner, Dr. Krista, hosted a one-day summit where she taught all of the sessions. She didn't have any other speakers on it. These are not going to be as big as far as audience is concerned, as you don't have a large pool of speakers helping you get the message out. However, it's very concentrated and very effective in creating a strong relationship of know, like, and trust for you with the audience that does attend. So a quick recap. We have the researcher, reporter, facilitator, and teacher roles. The researcher is like an experiment you're doing on yourself to find out the information to solve one of your own problems and then allow an audience in on that process. The reporter is like an investigative journalist that brings together a variety of experts on similar topics or related topics to your expertise. The facilitator is a role that allows you to bring together information that is important to your audience in delivering that information, which most likely is not something you're interested in being known as the expert for, but will be valuable for them to know. And then the teacher role allows you to be the expert and to help your audience get specific insights and strategies on the topic most related to your unique expert position, while featuring supporting viewpoints and students who have had success through your programs. Again, it's possible to have a variety of different roles on any given summit, although it's recommended to try and stay in alignment with just one specifically for clarity and consistency. Most commonly, the reporter role is used on most summits. So if you can find a way to highlight a different role, it will also allow you to stand out. And most common role combined onto other summits is the teacher role, being brought into a summit to give the host an opportunity to position them as the authority. And there you have it, a quick deep dive into the different roles on virtual summits. Now, take this information into account when setting up your next virtual summit. If you've got ideas for different roles, be sure to let us know over in the Facebook community called Viral Summits. You can check it out over on Facebook. Also, I hope to see many of you at our upcoming live conference, Summit Fest Live. It's being held in New Orleans. Check out more information over at summitfestlive.com. I really hope to see you there. And that's going to wrap us up here on today's episode. Just remember, your message matters and you have an impact to make in this world. There is nothing more powerful than a collaborative marketing strategy to get that message out. So go out there and make an impact, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening. Now don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review on the Virtual Summit podcast. Head over to the show notes to check out all the links and resources from this episode, and be sure to grab your free trial of the Virtual Summit software.
Now, I want to end this episode by saying to all the Summit hosts listening right now, I believe in you, and you can do this. Summits are by far one of the most powerful ways to quickly grow your list, launch your platform, make more money, and most importantly, make an impact in the world, even if you're just getting started. So don't get caught up in analysis paralysis, because the world needs to hear your message, and there are people who are waiting for you to help them. So just get started, because imperfect action is always better than no action. Thank you, and see you on the next episode.